Okay, now what? So now let's say we have a situation where you want to capture a value from user itself. Okay, if you remember the Gmail example. Whenever we go to gmail.com, so what Google asks is, what Gmail asks you to do is, please enter your username, and maybe on the first screen it only asks for a username. So what it does is it takes the value from a user itself, right? So if I execute this, so you see, I mean, you notice what will happen at the top. Okay, and then we'll explain this. So what it says, what is the age plus enter to confirm. So what it is trying to do is, it is asking me, you please enter some value. So it's waiting, you see, the time is clicking, it's waiting for me to enter a value. So if I add 55 and then I have to hit enter. Okay, you see, I entered 55 and it got it here. So how this was possible? So we used an inbuilt function which is readily available in Python, which is called as an input. Okay, what it is called, it is called as input. Okay, so right now in this section you might say like, okay, two things are mixed, let me do it like this. Okay, let's say I'm creating a temp variable, and then what I'm using is, what I'm doing is I'm copying this, only this. Okay, let me comment this and comment this. Okay, so if you see directly, what I did is I commented that this is a temporary, I mean, you can take any variable name. So I am using an input function. So if you see, if I hover my mouse onto this, right, it is telling it's an input function. So def, we I mean, when we go forward, so when we indicate a function, so we use a word called as a def. So it takes an input, and the output of this input function is string. You see this arrow, what this arrow is telling us is, if I use this input function, right, this arrow is telling us its output will be a string. Okay, its output will be a string. So if I use this input function in Python, so the output will be is string, str. Okay, it's mentioning it by default, it's mentioning it. Okay, so what this means, this means print, let me type temp, and then what do we call it? Okay. Temp, type of temp. Okay, okay, so this will give us an idea what we are entering here. So if I click here, so right now see what is the age it's asking. So if I type like 66 and if I hit enter, so what it's telling is, you have entered 66. Okay, input captured whatever you have entered at the top. Okay, and it shows this message, what is the age. We can type any message here. Okay, and then input captured it, and it captured it and it gave it to this variable, and what we did is we printed this variable, we printed. And then here what we are doing is, whatever information user is giving to you, please let me know what is the type of that variable. Okay, and the type of this variable, whatever input passes to this temporary variable, will be of string type. How would I know if it's a string type? You can say, I mean, Kapil, we pass 66, right, and 66 an integer. How it is showing at a string? Because input is by within itself, it's converting whatever you give as an input, right? If I run it again, whatever we are giving here, right, even if we are giving like 4.0, it's converting it into a string, and then it's showing here the way we converted it, right? So it's converting it into a string. So let's say I gave it 4.0, it's a floating point value, but still it is considering it as a string, because it's performing a typecasting inside it this. And one once it performs this typecasting, it gives that value to this temp variable, and we are printing that temp variable. Okay, now I can do I can also typecast it. Okay, now the age would be an integer value, right? I mean, it will not be a string. So what can I do? I can typecast this complete value. How will I typecast? I will use int, and I will put a bracket at the start, and I move my cursor at the end, and then I will again put a bracket. So what this will do is, whenever input will take an input value from the user, it will convert into a string, it will try to pass on to this temporary variable. Before that, I will convert it into an integer. Okay, so that this temporary variable has an integer value. Okay, so if I do it now, what will happen? Let's say I put 55, So see, it's an integer now.
Hey everyone, hope you enjoyed our session at LWP Labs. For more videos like this, you can subscribe to our channel and contact the number for live classes. The future is now with AI.